It's a natural yearning for both genders, most especially for the female gender. It's more like an accomplishment, especially if the female desires it, because we know that there are some females that don't give a crap about such things. But most, at least, let's say about 85 to 95% of women want to be married, as most culture of this world encourages it. It places the woman in some society in a respectable position. If the woman is not married, most likely she's seen as loose or wayward. So there's this societal pressure that is placed on the woman to marry, and there's also the personal desire, which is natural, by the way, for the female gender wanting to get married, as the need for procreation, as the need to have another human being created by your body to want to love and nurture as your own. Hello everyone, welcome back to Breakage Barriers. If this is your first time of watching, my name is Blessing. What I do here is talk about culture and human habits. So it's normal, it's natural, it's okay for a woman to desire to want to be married. But the process that takes place before this marriage is done is what we'll be talking about today. And where we're going to, you must already know, is the wedding ceremony. Why is there so much emphasis placed on not just the wedding, but on the white wedding, the type of wedding which is universal? We can say it is universal because every country that you visit, most ladies, most females want to walk down the aisle to meet their future husband dressed in white regalia. You know? Why white wedding? Why is white wedding so much in demand all over the world in most cultures? Why does it have to be white? Why can't it be green? Why can't the lady be dressed in a green dress, yellow dress, blue dress, and whatever color of dress she desires to wear? This shows how a culture can be influenced by another culture. And so we have to go back in history to be able to answer such questions. There's no how you want to tackle a problem thoroughly without going to the root cause of the problem. If you have to do it on the surface, you're still leaving the problem there. Therefore, it's going to continue. So going back to the root cause of this type of wedding is going back in time. How did this type of wedding ceremony been so accepted all over the world? Again, we have to go back to colonization. Colonization, because this is a type of system that lasted ages, hundreds of years. As one will find that pre-colonization, this was not the type of wedding commonly accepted. Most cultures celebrated their wedding their own way, and colonization came with imperialism, capitalization, great enslavement around the world. Most of the cultures that was practiced in those other countries were oppressed, and so the idea of civilization was introduced. Oh, this is the way you lot were doing your things. We now bring to you civilization, as though those parts of the world weren't even civilized then. Of course, they were already advanced and had advanced technology. So the side effects of colonization is still ongoing in so many different ways, and the white wedding is one of it. Another effective way that the white wedding was successfully promoted is the religion Christianity. In Christianity, Christians round the entire world. What huge capitalization that is. Can you really take it all in? I mean, most women in the world want to go through this path. Can you see the level of capitalization in it? So Christianity was a big one used to promote the white wedding. Those who chose to admire their way of life in the Bible, like in the Old Testament and in the New Testament, none of these characters, I mean none at all in this narrative of the Bible, none of them walked the aisle or were betrothed in a white wedding dress. So if these characters are looked upon as inspirational, have you asked the question, why are the present day women not emulating such lifestyle, such humble lifestyle, if those characters in the Bible were actually inspirational? As white wedding is not even in the Bible. But again, as I looked at history, I found that the originator of the white wedding dress is Queen Victoria in the 15th century, when she put on this regalia of a white dress, and ever since this was incorporated in the Christian religion, which was also used as a tool to promote such type of wedding. So as women, if we do not understand the origin of such practice, then we'll end up putting so much unnecessary pressure on ourselves, because one can actually get married without putting on a wedding dress on the wedding day. But again, today, as a bride getting married, if you don't do a white wedding, it's as though it's incomplete. You've not arrived, or you've not done the required. Required by whom? When you look at the African culture, even up till now, some of these cultures still practice it. Pre-colonization, this was how it was done, which is when a woman is betrothed to be married to a man in the ancient times, she's expected to have her virginity intact. One of the ways to prove as an evidence that that betrothed woman still has her virginity intact was to place a white cloth on the bed or the place where the couples were going to mate. And so when these couples mate, a trusted person is supposed to go in and bring out the cloth, the white cloth, expected to be stained by blood, show it to the family of the man as an evidence that the betrothed woman is definitely a virgin. This was where the use of white cloth was introduced. The white cloth was not meant to be worn on the wedding day as the woman is walking down the aisle. The white cloth was meant to be placed on the bed where the couples are meant to mate and taken out as evidence. The cloth was a sign of chastity, as a sign that the lady is not wayward or being sleeping around with all kinds of men. That was the purpose of the white cloth. It's not to be worn on the day the woman is getting married. The day the woman is getting married, in the ancient African culture, she's meant to be dressed in colorful clothing, colorful regalia, accompanied by her family members and friends, for her hand to be given in marriage to the family of the man. That was how it was done before. But today, the African culture seems to have forgotten or is forgetting the ideals of these cultures, the importance, the significance behind the white cloth, because colonization has made us to forget. Colonization has brainwashed us to another type of culture which is being practiced today. And you see so many women unnecessarily placing themselves as brides and the bridegroom in an unnecessary financial burden. These same women, as Africans, they want to have a white wedding. They also want to have their traditional wedding. And so you see most of our melanated women, especially the ones from Africa, they want to keep the original Africa culture, which is still present but practiced by few people. They want to keep that culture. At the same time, they want to belong to the Joneses of this world. They want to still celebrate their wedding in a white wedding gown. If this is not done, they feel incomplete. They feel lost. They feel the real wedding has not been done yet. As a human being, you have the right to choose how you want to celebrate your day, because at the end of the day, it's your wedding as the woman. And in most weddings, the woman chooses how she wants to celebrate. And one other thing that I need to point out is that most times this white wedding is sometimes called Christian wedding, as though one cannot choose to do one's wedding in whatever beautiful attire one chooses to dress in on the day of one's wedding. It's a social construct, unnecessary practice that has been greatly capitalized on, and it is the one that is performing the practice that pays the price most. A wedding is a wedding, be it done in the church, done in an African traditional setting. It's the culture. It's not demonic to have your wedding in an African traditional way. It's beautiful. So once it's done, it should be acceptable. As long as it's acceptable by you, the one who has chosen to do it that way, then who cares? It's a wedding. We have lost the purpose of the use of the white cloth, which is not meant for the day the woman is walking down the aisle, but meant as a way of identifying that the woman is still a virgin, a sign of purity, a sign of chastity. That's the purpose of the white cloth, so that the woman is not termed as a prostitute, a wayward person, a loose and untrusted woman. Let's get it right, women. I hope this will be able to help some women out there to get their priorities right, rather than running after the rat race. With this, I say thank you very much for watching and listening. See you next time. Take care now. Bye.